Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so happy that all of you come on time. It's very nice. We start early so that we finish early. We have some amongst us who are very good at, getting the essence of every remedy, especially Dr. Rama Hariharan, who is part of our NGH. So we're going to ask her next time to give us a small briefs of every remedy that we do. Yes, Rama? No, it's not too soon. Not now. You can do it later. Just two lines. Today, I've done some remedies for you all like that, so that we are. These are new remedies, so we have to do them many times to make them part of us. Like Abrani and Pulsatilla become part of us, but these remedies will take some time, right? Okay. Thank you, Rama. So it is 3 o'clock. We are already about 7-10 people. All of you call up your friends and ask them quickly why they haven't still joined so that we can start sooner. Each one can call one person so that we'll have quickly at least 15 people. But requested, so we started at 3 o'clock. We can always start at 3:15 also. Anyone have anything to say about this? Have they found it interesting? Have they found it useful? Have they at least found it? Yes, we would like to know a bit more about this. I can tell you that I have found it today. Uh, Today only I use one remedy. We did agrimony last time. Anybody remembers what was so characteristic of agrimony? You can write it in the chat box. So I have this patient. She is over 80 years old, and whole thing very striking about her. Whole time whenever we ask her how is she, says, doctor, I'm quite well. Doctor, I'm quite well. And like even today when she said, we know that she has now trouble in the knees, but she's better. But oxygen has dropped. So she said, I would like to walk to the bathroom, but they put me on oxygen. It drops to 88 if I don't have the tube on. So I can't walk too much except 10 feet or so. And but I am doing well. How much is my create, doctor? I said it's gone up. But why has it gone up? I'm feeling quite well. So which is the remedy? Agrimony. Cheerful in spite of pain, right? So we've given her agrimony and we've given her another remedy from the same group because she had this oxygen problem and the creat problem and a little bit of pulse dropping and the heart little affected. So we've given her Craticus mother tincture. So next week I'll let you all know how she's doing. So yeah, so even it's easy. Just if you know just a few characteristics also, we can easily use it. Another case which I'm really very hopeful about, and next week we're going to do that remedy. But I'm just telling you a little bit about it now because we have some time and everybody is not yet joined. So we have this in this group only. We have Rosa Demesina. And we have this little girl. She's 7.5 years old. And it is amazing. She can speak 3, 4 languages at 7.5. And she's learning Mandarin. And she's doing Taekwondo. And she can write stories or little poems. And of course, so naturally, she thinks she's the cat's whisker. She's very, so she thinks she's quite high IQ, of course, and everything. So she doesn't listen to her mother. Mother says, before, unless I tell her, I first tell her softly, then hard, then I shout, then only she'll go for a bath. So, so she holds her own, kind of stubborn. And best is she walks on her toes. So teacher says she's a good student, but she's very restless. She doesn't sit in her seat. So she has ADHD. And we've just given her a remedy which we are not done yet and we're going to do next week. It's called Rosa Damascena. So we'll let you know next week how she is doing. But I'm just telling you that, we had not thought like this agrimony, though in Bach flower, we use a lot of Bach flower remedies. Still, it had not come to our mind. Still, we did this particular Rosidea group. And so I'm happy to be able to share that, we can use, even you can think and share. So we have kept this a little open. If any of you all have cases or even your friends have cases, tell us, we'll invite you that time to share a case. So, okay. So now we are already many of us. So let's start a little bit, just 10, 12 slides of revising. So today is our third CME. We are on the 17th of November. So November is a very good month for Engage. We've done something we haven't done for a long time. We are happy about it. So we've said why column 5? Because it is so much of today's century, work oriented, equality demand. Women's lib is so prominent nowadays, where females are telling men, you have to share in not only in bringing the money home, but you share in the home work also. So I had a patient once, this was a long time ago, so who told her husband that I'll get up some nights for the baby, you have to get up. This was even before they are married. They're already making plans. So women have become very demanding. Yes. So these are the 6 subgroups. And Rosidea whole, this is the beginning of the Rosidea top family. We'll at the end discuss which are the remedies we have done. So in two lines, we are going to do first subclass is not here. Magnolidae are not here, means they are still in the other world. So whenever you have patients who are still telling, sometimes I feel I don't even belong, don't know how to deal with this. So they are very confused. They have no boundaries. They have no skin, raw skin. And so those people get hurt much more easily with every little thing they are like shaking. So it is root chakra 1. Subclass 2 is they are coming down, but they are still not fully here. Yeah, they're between the two worlds and they're trying to establish boundaries. There's numbness maximum. So this is chakra 2, which is the sexual organs. Okay. Then you have subclass 3, which is the cariophylades. We are struggling still. The separation is happening and they are trying to get independent, but the heart still wins. So they remain feminine and subclass 3, solar plexus. Subclass 4 is Dilinadi. This is a very important group also. Nutrition line. So here it is all about nutrition, caring, giving. So it is about la mother, child, and the family, the love relationships, the giving and the receiving, and the nourishing. And the fourth chakra, which is the heart chakra, it says to love, accept, and to forgive. And in this group, in the end of the group, the separation from the mother starts. Till then, it is all life belongs to the mother. And you have subclass 5, which is our subclass we are studying, is I and the other. So this is where the real split starts to happen. But still in the thing we are doing right in the beginning, top with the row, if you see, it is row 1, then that is still not gone fully really split. So it is still little bit feminine, little bit masculine. So here they start recognizing that there is somebody apart from me. Yeah. And then somebody else. So now they are moving from the mother to the father. And the father is the dominant person. So whenever the father comes up, you have work, rules, regulations, the rigidity, anything which has to do with rules and laws laid down, then that brings in religion. So the suppression of the feminine, it is the fifth chakra, which is the throat. So you have the thyroid, you have the rigidity, so you have the limbs and the neck. Then you have the sixth subclass, the austerity, which is I and the group. Here now they are fully masculine. So my place in the world, I have something to contribute. So the ego, the self-centeredness, and my special thing which I contribute to the world, so I can shine and sparkle. Right? So in two lines like this, we should be able to do the remedies also, so that we can remember, right? Okay, so the Rosidea, the gender split is between masculine and feminine. And so we have the suppression of the feminine emotion and the intuition which are suppressed, and the mind and the reasoning take over. Yeah, the masculine part. So they attain self-awareness and they recognize the other. So now you have the father and the son, you have partnership, you have past relationship. All these are important things in each of the remedies will be studied. Father, since he's the important figure, the hierarchy, who is the boss, who is the main person, who the head of the family, who the head in the company, like. So discipline and respect. And the focus is now not on so much emotion, love, on what we are going to eat today, what are you going to cook today. So it's on goals, resources, work, protection, organization. Now everything is about work. How much did you do? How much did you contribute to the work today? So the problems come sometimes because father is overtly strict. So many cases will have father who was overtly strict, and that is why problems arose. And whole life those problems kind of remain. So there is a rigidity, there's a desire for activity from the family. Now they are facing the world. So they're talking about activity, work, their own path, what we are going to do, purpose, and how we're going to leave a personal mark on the world and our social position in the world, not in the family. So this is what we did, Rosidea. In short, R for rigidity, O for OCDs, S for suppression. I'm not doing all of it because you've done it already twice before. I, industriousness, individuality, independence. D for dominant masculine. A for activity, achievement, and advancement. And E for emotional dryness, which starts to happen. So you feel this person, why can't he doesn't understand, his emotions are not there at all. So it is dry. So the summary of these 5 columns, which we've done in 5-10 minutes only, is split in opposition, heart versus the mind, the self-awareness, the blocking, the hardening of the heart, the dominance of mind, suppression of the father, rules and regulation, discipline, business, karma. With religion, you have karma, no? Something which I did, which I have to pay for, kind of thing. Activity, work, purpose, willpower, and limb joints predominate. But in the baby stages, like what we are doing, the rosettes and the myriad tails, the often the contact, we are trying to make contact with the other, but it often fails. There is a problem. It doesn't work out. And then lot of disappointments. Every case will have little shades of disappointment. I mean, disappointment will be there, but shades of the effect of it will be different. So the family that we are doing currently is Roses, where there's a desperate need to connect and to be understood by the other. And so, how can we be understood? By talking. So, they may become locations. But the failure to connect and to have many of these cases or many of these remedies, you will see they were trying to find their soulmate and they never really found their soulmate. So, either the one lady I remember said, I always wanted to find one, but I always came across men who were harsh. I never found anybody, not a good man. So ailments from grief. So roses here, they learn to express themselves, my individuality, my personal mark, but they still lack the capacity to really do it, which they do in the sixth sense. So the remedies which you've done so far, in just brief, I'm doing. I'm not Rama, so I can't do it into 3 lines, a few lines. Is well known for the low destructive condition of the heart. The miasm is syphilitic. If you'll all have the schema book, though Rajan has not done all the remedies, but at least some of them, Craticus is there in the syphilitic miasm. I didn't put that chart. I should have, maybe next time. So, Rosidea and syphilitic miasm will be Craticus. The feeling of Craticus is need for love for family so much that when a family member leaves, we had talked about a case where the cousin and people who are staying in the same building separated and then cause a lot of feeling of hurt and which remains for a long time, creating problems. Craticus men are more attracted and aloof than Craticus women. That is for a given. So they need love. They have a lot of disappointment, which gives them trouble. The sorrow, care, ailments from grief, and hardening of the heart into a heart of stone. One patient said, my heart feels as if it become a stone. And the key word there is stiffening of the heart. So that is Craticus. I today told you I've given it to a patient, but she doesn't have that. But she has more agrimony features. I've given mother tincture just for the oxygen in the heart. So agrimony, the main thing I already told you is that, cheerful. So here, that cheerfulness means there is little aloofness. Na? You're not allowing even your disease to take you over. So they repress their thing. And the agrimony types are described as nature-loving, pleasant women with deep-seated pain, but ailments from consuming yearning for a soulmate. So all the roses want a soulmate. So some are lucky to find, some are not. So cheerful in pain and sorrow. Even her troubles, you tell cheerful. So that is agrimony. Maybe we can start using, we find patients never before thought of it. So maybe you can start thinking now. So cheerful, outgoing, optimistic, and encouraging others. The repression, because they are not so connected with the emotions now. When you're cheerful, don't show it. Pain and don't show it, you're repressing, right? So then that may lead to obesity, ulceration, skin problems, and eyesight. Then third remedy we did was amygdalis. There is prematurity. There's impaired development in the newborn. Even when they arrive in the world as if they're not fully born. Okay. So they cannot, all lives, they do not achieve their full potential. Males, they may have genital atrophy like the penis. The newborn can hardly move their limbs. Even their heartbeats are so faint. The physiological immunity with basic perception of the world as cruel, strained, and aggressive. Maybe this is due to the cyanide content. You remember? We did the other remedy. So Rosidea amygdalis in Rajan's book also is typhoid miasm. What is typhoid miasm? You all remember your miasms? My typhoid is what? Typhoid is where you're hopeful that you will come out. Malaria is what? When you're constantly looking at over your shoulder and saying, when is my next attack? When is my next attack? Yes. So this is typhoid matter, where a critical situation also, the desire is to come out as soon as possible. So you have the sudden pinching, pressure, suffocation, but still that whole feeling is hopefulness of being able to come out. Okay. So hydrocyanic acid, we remember we said that it is doesn't belong to a plant kingdom, but because of this in amygdalus this is there. We had shown you the chemical formula which is closed. So they have issues with eating, and so it's called anorexia nervosa. Eating a lot but still losing weight, depression, suicidal thoughts, feeling of hopelessness and despair, and a lot of startling. Dreams of war. This war, Holocaust, it's very there in many, many cases. We don't find these cases because it didn't affect our country so much. But in all of Europe, or especially, you find memories of Holocaust. So just this case was nice, so I just took it. Extreme fears. You remember we've done this, okay? Death of her son. She was in coma for a few months, then expired. So she began hearing sounds of cars going in the street. Basically a loving lady, but now she felt half her heart was gone. A lot of weakness. All acids have weakness. So hydrocyanic acid also had. And 1 1 dose helped. Yakir, there was a case again where that person felt Holocaust in Auschwitz as was already part of that and totally burned inside, right? As if coal inside was coal. And the entrance to life also was very traumatic. She was yanked out. She said, how can anybody do that to a baby? My mother almost died giving birth. I also almost bled to death when giving birth to my daughter. So history repeats. My father regularly beat me up, but I stubbornly stood up to him. And just to escape from that kind of a man, I married a mild man. That also doesn't work out. She would not happy and she would scream at her daughter whenever she disobeyed. She always felt I was under dark clouds. She was a very anxious woman. And a problem was like a lot of uterus problems in these cases, profuse, long-lasting dark menses and clots, long-lasting, so she could not have sex as often as she would. She said, please take away my night app. Prunus ceracifera, what is the Bach flower remedy? Is cherry plum. We all know it a little bit and we use it. So there are lots of fears, anxious, nervous breakdown, and emotional stress is the problem. There's no emotional maturity to face the world. So fears, losing touch with reality, anger. Okay. Somebody, Fatima there, can you talk to Preeti, please? So there are suicidal acts, self-injury, gritting of teeth, epilepsy, and stuttering. The children in tantrums throw themselves on the floor. They bang their head against the wall. So in severe pain, they are unable to bear the torture and they break down. So, it is very nice. In fact, in this issue, our current issue, which is being released tomorrow and will reach you in 2 days, we have given, Dr. Krishnamurthy has given in brief 20 remedies or so of Bach flowers. And very nicely he's given where patient cries with pain, then you give cherry plum. There are people, like we saw in agrimony, that people, there is pain, but they are cheerful. Here they cry with pain. The doctor, there was a case he described where he had a surgery. There was a lot of pain. Doctor said, but surgery wounds take 7, 8 days to heal. So you have to bear the pain. I can't give you too many painkillers. He said, but doctor, please, please, the pain is too much. And he was given cherry plum. And next day, not only the pain went and he slept well, but the wound also started healing fast. So these are how homeopathic works, right? So it is the malaria miasm. Whenever you cry and you feel so hopeless about your pain, when will I come out? I'm not coming out, I'm not getting well, then that is malaria miasm, hopeless. Typhoid, we said, is the opposite, right? Typhoid is saying, I will come out, I will come out, right? So we said in typhoid miasm, we had amygdala, and in malaria miasm, we have fluenus and traticus and syphilitic. So prunus has this lot of OCD. They say for schizophrenia and OCD, prunus is a good remedy. So in one girl, which case we described last time, she felt her college professor was controlling her, and that he wanted to be God, and reality was very evil. So she even felt that her father and brother were watching her, and she did well with this remedy. So we have done revision. I hope everybody has joined by now. Any questions? Somebody please Preeti. Preeti, this is saying something about time left. Then we'll have to move to do something. So let's start with other remedies. So Pyrus americana. This remedy is very, today we are going to do some very exciting remedies. After I finish these two, we are going to go to roses and all the rose remedies, which is really, really very exciting. Yeah. So this is also, it begins already, drama and romance, as if I'm living in a movie with much sadness and disappointed love. But in the movies, normally at the end, they always meet their lover, right? Except in the newfangled movies, newfangled movies where may not happen. So she says, in my dreams, I meet my beloved again who has left me. But I know that he still loves me. So this is the mystic aspect of that first row. No, the first row all still belongs to a little bit to the other world, a little bit to communicate with the other world. So being able to communicate with other worlds, to channel or predict the future. So they are still in connection. All these people who are soothsayers, all that, they are still a little bit with the other world, not fully into this world. So she can predict disasters, that something bad will happen. Their fears and anxieties are like stramonium. Stramonium is just the next row. In the sixth row, in the Solanaceae family, which you all did remember once Dr. Ajit Kulkarni did with you. Ajit, are you here? So that is the sixth, from the sixth up. And the fear is of one's heart missing a beat. So it comes in the acute miasm. Okay. So here, even in Rajan's chart, here Pyrus is in the acute miasm, Pyrus americana. So unexplainable fears that are related to the first row, such as fear of the dark, even being touched, with the tendency to leave the body. How do we get over our pain and stress? By as if we are not part of this body. The pain is in the body and we are outside the body. Okay, so this can happen in the first row. Okay, not the con. So delusion is that I am able to get out of my bed and walk around as if I am out of my body. So there are mystical tendencies mixed up with the hysterical. So there is, like we said, between insanity and intelligence, there is a very thin line. So similarly, between the other world and this world, there's a thin line. So you may get many things, from the other. So the tendency to act and pretend. So it is the this is the accomplishment of the role, with an inclination towards exaggerating symptoms. So people don't give value to your disease or your symptoms or your pain unless you feel you exaggerate. It's too much pain. And then suddenly she sees some nice thing and she forgets about her pain. So you know that is exaggeration. Okay. So there is this uh, exaggeration, pretending to be sick and afraid of moving, although not very sick, and saying big description of the pain. And in the proving, she's sitting in the bed waiting to be waited on. She wants others to wait on her to accommodate them. So this is the beginning role. Na? So babyish characters. When the baby infant, once infant we only attend, right? They don't have to do anything. So this is something like. So when you come to the ages, it will be like. When taken to the extreme, the emotional intensity might turn to delusion and personality disorder. The whole being is intensified. Okay, so you may have a schizoid kind of a personality with bizarre behavior. This is Clark has written. Thinking, thinking is bizarre also, and the taste in clothes. Some of these remedies you'll find they want to be very beautifully, very well dressed. Okay, and they talk about out of body experiences, a lot of them. So all these are like the first row characteristics. Please don't confuse between row and the uh, column. So it has affinity to the lungs, like in the whole column, we said lungs, blood, heart, head as the other rosacea. And can get respiratory problems going to pneumonia very soon. The cough going to pneumonia very soon. Cough leading to hoarseness on the second day itself. Pleurisy, croup. So respiratory, but very rapidly evolves into dangerous levels. So plant has an affinity even in herbal medicine with the lungs. There are heartaches. All these remedies have heartaches with deep sadness, as if the heart is about to stop beating. Stop beating. So it is the acute miasthenia. Severe headaches which start above the eye. Eyes are irritated with burning sensation. And then, of course, the second most, this thing, system which is affected, digestive and motor system also affected. With a feeling as if stomach is filled with water and prolapsed bladder, not bladder, bladder. Sorry, sorry, बाद में करती हूँ. See, the group is much more active than me. They have put their phones off. Yeah. That was our one remedy. What was it? Prunus, America. Yeah. This is Chilaja saponaria. So this is a remedy for our, actually, we should be able to use it a lot in Bombay, I said. So there is colds, it is comes up with severe throat pain, hot, dry sensation at the bottom of the throat, and cough has persistent phlegm with rattling of mucus, sneezing, nasal kata with rawness. So it is suitable for the first stage of cold, occur in hot, humid climate like ours. Symptoms are lot of weakness and fatigue like gelsemium. So there are a lot of things like gelsemium. Can you see the figure? So tired, such heavy eyes. And we always ask gelsemium. The second, third question, thirst? No thirst. Okay. Then eyes, you feel heavy in the eyes. I feel very heavy. I want to lie down. So like gelsemium, Kulaja we can think of. Skin is dry and flaky with tendency to dandruff. The plant also is used for dressing ulcer. Okay. So here we revised over here agrimony, amygdala, praticus, hydrocyanic acid, prunus, Pyrus americana, quilla, and now we're going to do roses. Roses. Yeah, all the rose. Some of the others we will do another time. So let's do rose. So these rose, whatever we're discussing, this is general to all the rose remedies. That, as beautiful as the rose is, it is still, you know, very funny. No, we ask people, what would you like? How would you like your a wife? What do you think your wife should be? And most men say, I want my wife very beautiful and, soft and nice. And husband, yeah, tall, dark, handsome. In the old days, they used to say TDH, TDH. I want my husband to be like that. But we don't know whether beauty is really good to have around, because beautiful people, I remember once I was with a gaggle of women and they say, come, come, come. This was long ago. I'm talking about in my youth. Let's go and find some boys. Let's find nice, handsome hunk. I said, no, no, I don't want any handsome hunk, because the handsome hunk is only talking about himself and too much into himself. And you have to do everything for him. So you'd rather want somebody who can do something for you also, right? So too much good looks is not good also. So they are into themselves. But here we have the rose, who's always beautiful and a little bit too pretty for this world, kind of. So, and they're in the first row. So all the first rows still have a little connection with the other world. So they are knave, not fully present in the world, and might be spiritual, too good for this world. So they sometimes think everybody is good. And so they always get men who are not so good, who suppress or oppress or dominate them. So they seek to rise above all that, but they can always do it. They always want beauty and purity, but something always spoils things for them. But it's a lovely group, rose group. But they always have a thorn. So they seek a spiritual connection with their parents, friends, and partners. But somehow or the other, there is always a thorn, and it pricks and it hurts and the blood comes. So instead of loving relation, they have to encounter with someone who exploits them or treats them bad. They always speak of good people, good love, giving, kind. I want to help people. I want to be kind to them. And they want to be part of a group. So it's like a part of a bouquet. Rose is also a part of a bouquet, right? We make either a bouquet with many roses, different color roses, or put them with other flowers. So they want to get approval from others. They are like flowers and want to be part of a group. But somebody cuts them. So in many cases, we will find they will use that word, cut off, or cut, or somebody cut me off, or the group left me, cut me. So their love is nave and its loss is a thorn. Okay, thorn is always. So that's why the rose comes with a thorn. Never seen a rose without a thorn. They are sweet people, but the thorns get attached. So the primal quality, just like in all the roses, is emotional rather than rational response. They are still not there. We say split, feminine, masculine. It's beginning, but it's just the beginning. So they are still not feminine, and they not get emotionally affected rather than the rational response. There's a promise of ecstatic romance, and which, it might materialize, or which may not materialize, and often they don't materialize. So they have a lot of interest in smells. You know how the rose is, perfumes are made from it, the rose oil, the concentrate from the original flower, and it's beautiful. But sometimes it's a little strong. I find it a little strong and heady, the rose perfumes. So but they have an interest in pleasant odors. They can't bear ugliness around them. And that's why they also keep the thorn. They can poke somebody. Yeah. Perfumes, they like perfume, they like beauty. But on the other hand, there's always one side and the other side. So on the other hand, they feel that their body is not beautiful because it is so thorny. So it is a judgmental all or nothing attitude. So that is the fifth column, splitting, because I can be neither I'm all feminine, neither I'm all masculine. So I'm splitting. Okay. But they want all or nothing. There are themes, of course, of the column, which are religion and morality, of the father, morality. Yeah. The father always preaches morality, whether he does it or not. Religion also preaches morality, and religion gives structure. You must not covet your neighbor's wife. There are all these things which are laid down. You must be good to your family. You must earn for your family. All these things are written down, right? So morality themes are there. But as we know very well, they always covered the neighbor's wife. Yeah. So there are lascivious dreams, and there are also issues, lot of issues of dirt, just that their body is not so good. So impurity and dirt is often an issue. So physically, they have bleeding, a lot of uterine problems, hormonal, menses or ear problems, uterine problems are seen. So in adult Rose family, there are constant romantic complications. There is this always this yearning, as I've been telling you again and again, for relationships and for intimacy. So they do not give up despite repeated disappointment. They may have one, then they say, no, no, this one not. But if I try again, I can get another relationship or husband be better. But somehow they get the same type because that is what they can't see. They are still too naive. They can't recognize or judge. But these repeated disappointments create a cloud of melancholy. Just when they're finally together, they think they are now together, suddenly one thorn will fall. So all the histories will have some problem which happened because of some thorn. The small, sometimes when we see problems and which have created a deep hurt in us, if you look at it, the problem was really small. It is smaller. He didn't, do this for me. He forgot my birthday, for example. I had one patient, I remember. He came to me and he said, doctor, it's my wife's birthday. But every time I think I must remember and I must plan. But every time it is last minute and I can only think of buying a box of chocolate. And she said, every time you just get me. First time it was nice, but every time you just get me a box of chocolates. You don't use any imagination or you don't do anything new for me. So you're not thinking. They think that no effort has been put in. So she gets very hurt. And he, poor fellow, is trying. But he came from a family where people didn't even acknowledge birthdays. Their birthdays are not celebrated also. Nobody remembered their birthdays. And in the wife came from a family where birthday was a big event. Mostly birthdays are a big event because it is the one day when only you are important in the family. So it is your day, kind of. But many people don't do it, especially in our country. It is not so widespread as in foreign countries. So they have this deep sense of hurt, even for small things. And so they are always afraid of the thorn being pierced. One becomes close, and the other person doesn't take care, and I will get it. So this leads to rapid withdrawal and distancing from the other. These common rosacea themes will usually complement the specific and peculiar features of each of the things. So these are some of these common things which will all be there. And then you will have peculiar. So what we have to understand is each remedy will have some peculiarity which will allow us to use that remedy only. So the roses then represent the promise of the whole column. So even when the other appears to be an enemy, okay, first we want to be with the other. We want to be liked. We want to have a position. We want them to admire us and we want them to like us. But then it is not happens and then we think he's an enemy. but then also it offers us a lesson which we have to learn, and uh, there to eat that it is there, that lesson is taught, comes to us only to empower us, make us better, so that we can next time deal with that better. So it is through contact with others that we will learn to develop, learn to love at a higher level, and learn that the other did love us after all. Sometimes you find that people separate, and because they have let little things come in the way. And then I saw a movie, serial yesterday, where they are almost on the verge of separation. But the sister gets married, and when you see the marriage ceremony, you remember how yours was and how beautiful and how happy you were. If you can hold on to that and bring that back, then you can get back together. Because people must remember that divorce has become very easy nowadays and common, but the children really suffer. And all the children of divorced parents will have some problem. You cannot say that, no, we will deal with that. When you do get married and you do have children, you do have a responsibility, even to them, to sort out your things. So, thus, in the rose genus, one once had this yearning for love and for romance, where it's an idealistic kind of love. I don't know how many of you all, but in our time, there were movies which only ended with them getting married. So it was all a happy, happy, happy thing. Then at a certain stage, they started showing movies after marriage. And now, of course, they have divorce and so many things. But otherwise, if you see old movies, they always were good, good, good. With boy chase, girl chase, ran around trees, sang songs, and finally got married and everything was. So that was this kind rose kind of a love and romance and partnership and coexistence between distinct individuals. But this is quickly forgotten. We forget once the responsibility comes, work comes, then you do this, you didn't do this. I had to do so much. I came back late. Still, I had to cook. You were just sitting at home. You could have done something. So these little things come, and we let it become big thing. You can easily come home and say, okay, come, let's cook together, instead of saying, you're just sitting, I have to do the work. You can say, come and help me. Would you like to do this? There are ways of saying it, ways of getting the other person involved. If you're constantly blaming, he'll say, anyway, you're going to blame me. I might as well see and watch TV. Okay? I have to watch this cricket match, very important. So thorns are there, then they are brought out in defense. And the split of the column and split of the relationship takes place. And so that's this journey of the column. So there's a poem by Robert Frost. The rose is a rose and was always a rose. But the theory now goes, in this column especially, we have, I told you, many apples and many fruits which are also going to be there. So that the apple is a rose and the pear is, and so is the plum, I suppose. The deer only knows what will next prove a rose, but you were always a rose. Nice poem, no? The rose is a rose and was always a rose, and you will always be a rose. If you can bring that kind of feeling into your relationship, your marriage, somehow, then you'll be happy. Yeah, always. You're always happy first year, second year. Then they say 7 years is a difficult time, and that's where everything changes. So we have done general rose characteristics. We are going to do some rose special remedies, okay? So this one is Rosa bracteata. So it's called rose B. So just like you have Rus Tox T, Rus G, like that we have rose ROS dash B, ROS dash C, ROS dash D. So rose B is commonly known as the McCartney rose, the species of the rose that is native to Asia, southern China and Taiwan. But now it is also gone to the USA, become wild and invasive. So in Brazil, this remedy is specially used for sexual abuse cases. We said that Rose find people who are not so good to them, oppress them. So sexual abuse is now, and we read about in our papers also to these days. Always there is a rape, a small child was raped, some woman was raped, some old woman was raped. So it has become so common, or it has become so much more in print. So this very resistance climbing rose has 5 petals. You see this rose here. See, it is white. Then it has 5 petals. And it has a yellow stem and very strong thorns. So these thorns really, in the plant, it was meant for animals not to eat them up, because then they get hurt and they go away and leave the plant be. So Rosa bracteata, rose B, is an acute miasm. So you have a lot of high expectation from relationship. Whenever you go into somewhere with great expectation, again there is hello, again is warning the meeting.
Ma'am, I think so. There's some problem in the Zoom, or I think don't know why, what's happening. So, if we can, today we'll need to end the session soon because I don't know what is, we are trying to resolve it. But
So I can give my Zoom.
I can give, but if this ends, we can start on the same thing again
Okay,
if
fine.
you want. But
Yeah. So just somebody, yeah,
after
I'll also
five
talk.
minutes, we'll stop this and again we'll start if you want.
All right.
Okay, sorry for the inconvenience. We are trying
Not
to
a
resolve the
problem.
issue.
As long as we know, last time I kept talking,
Yeah,
thinking,
yeah, yeah. Sorry, ma'am.
okay,
Yeah.
it's okay. So acute miasm. So when you have high expectation, then you can have great disappointments. So they enter a relationship where they are on the oppressed side. Women are suppressed and dominated by men. So they are unhappy in their marriage. But they suppress their feelings because they want it all to be good, and their imagination was all good. And then they accumulate the offenses, and they end up, when you accumulate and accumulate and accumulate and suppress and don't let it be shown, then you end up having obsessive thoughts constantly about the past. So there is ailments from mortification, ailments from domination by others, and the feminine aspect is suppressed in the whole system. So there's history always asks, it's not easy to ask sexual abuse or rape, but you try and say, when did it start? How did it start? How's your relationship with your husband? Because you can also have rape in marriage. So, yeah, there's a time when I said no. I said no, but he just went on. And then he got up and left. And I was crying, but he left. So even in a marriage, this can happen. And then you're really hurt and then can lead to breakup. So then these kind of history leads to emotional suppression. And then you get sadness, uh, problem throat, and choking in the throat like agnosia, and difficulties in swallowing liquid. So here the liquid is as if representing emotions which cannot be expressed. So if you look at this chart, so you have ailments, you have grief, then you have denial of that grief, then you have anger inside, and you keep talking to yourself, and depression. So till you finally accept and resolve it, you will have lot of peace. Okay. So for unexpected grief and integration and acceptance of the pain. So you have lot. Some of these rows are also in the bathroom. In extreme cases, the emotional suppression might translate into epileptic fits. And menstrual, also menopausal afflictions with depression and sadness in the climactic period. You would think once you're there, you have not resolved. Right? By the time your menopause comes, you resolve your problem. But menopause brings its own problem. So hormonal issues in general have symptoms like sterility, leiomyoma, postnatal problems, breast lumps and growth, postnatal depression, that is after delivery, and inability to deal with response. As if these feminine attributes are pushed aside, by the predominant masculine form, by either the man or by you yourself. No, you don't let yourself feel the emotion that you really should have. You don't cry. Women, they say, can resolve their problems by crying, right? We made them nice and soft, God said, and you have tears which helps them resolve their problem. You have a problem, you cry, you can resolve. So this translates physically into sensation of missing. So you feel as if half your head is missing, or some part of the body is absent, or feel a pressure, especially on the left side of the legs. So these suppressed emotions, you can either have urinary tract infection. So whenever you have women with repeated urinary tract infection, you should ask, of course, their hygiene, then their husbands and their sexual, uh, habits. Sometimes it may be that it is like forced, and dryness so lead to urinary infection. Age, in the older age, it becomes drier and drier. So you have to either tell them to use, creams, even normal ordinary cream like calendula, aloe vera cream, which we get, can be helpful. And they prevent urinary tract infection. Then dysuria with a full bladder or dribbling urine, gas, better by walking or moving. Like sepia here also, they have a need to get out of the house because you move and walk. So the other thing which affected our back and head and shoulders, causing nausea, dizziness, and headaches, sometimes around menopause. Okay, so photophobia, menopause, migraine caused by tensions in the neck. Men suffer from prostrate and erection problems that can become impotence with weak erections or violent, uncontrollable one. So either you have priapism or you can have impotence. So you can have both the sides. Okay. Excessive sweating after intercourse. So that means that if using up too much strength, something which is a natural thing makes you feel like, too much effort. So the masculine aspect is still infantile and weak. Okay, so that was Rosa Practita. So Rose B. Now we move to second remedy, Rosa California. So it is Rose Cal. So it is a wild rose. It is called wild rose. You can see it. It can either, it's like a prickly thicket. It's not like a single rose coming up. It is either singly or in several blooms altogether. So it's a prickly thicket forming like a shrub. So they may grow, fragrance is there, but they grow singly or in inflorescence, several blooms. Each rose is open-faced, and again it has 5, and these are pink roses. So they have 5 petals again. It's multiple stamens. See, the stamen is not one. We have seen over there, it was white with yellow stamen 1. Here they are multiple. So this is that primordial quality of it, where there's a group and it's kind of trying to relate with many things. And the fruits in which this grows are rich in vitamin C. And Yakir said falsely sold as natural vitamins. So it comes from the flower essence, the ability to really care, to give oneself to life, to others, and to the earth. That is a truly loving soul. So truly loving soul can really care for me, myself, for life, for others, for other people. But many souls, you have both the sides. Okay, everywhere you have both the sides. You say, but here there is ability to care. Then you also have the other side. Yes, you always have the other side. In Natram, you have say craving for salt, But if you look up aversion to salt, natron will also be. So it's always both. Many souls hold back their love, not wanting to experience the pain of life on earth. Okay, so when you are open and you show your love, then people can hurt you. You close yourself, then people can't hurt you. Yeah. So they find it hard sometimes to take emotional risk in relationship. That's why in agrimony, where your cheerfulness, also it had that it doesn't want to, be open and be hurt. So they find it hard to take emotional risks in relation with others and preferring to anesthetize themselves. So when you anesthetize your emotions, then you don't get hurt. Okay. Now this thing is quickly going to go. So whenever it goes, we'll just stop and then we'll join again. Okay. I'm sorry about this. So such souls can also suffer from deep-seated social alienation. So in Rosa, California, they are really truly loving souls, but they sometimes get too much pain and want to save themselves from the pain. So then they anesthetize themselves. So then they have, when you anesthetize yourself, you don't form those groups and they suffer from deep-seated social alienation, being unable to rouse the inner fire of the heart towards compassionate caring and activity in this world. So the remedy is like a carcinosin type. You know how carcinosin, forever clean and in control. They want to also contribute and heal others because there is this longing to be loved and appreciated. Carcinosin has it, and so does Rosa californica. All roses have. So delicate and sensitive on one side, but they may not like to be controlled by others, but they suppress their anger, and thus there is a conflict of sweetness versus prickliness. So the rose is sweet, but the thorns are prickly. So that is the balance that they somehow kind of achieve. So the carcinosin quality of always doing everything exactly so, that overachieving quality and the drive to please others leads them to despair because they cannot cope with this harshness of this world. So the first column, the first row, primary quality renders them vulnerable and helpless. When you're too naive, you don't know how to handle it. They want to contribute to the world, but withdraw when they are hurt. And then by suppressing their hurt and anger, when you're pushed down and you say, please don't, but they crush. So they might be oppressed even by a close person, even a relative. Okay? So then you have compulsive thoughts and all behavior. And so this also is very important for OCD. Because of their strong need to be in control, they may also feel controlled themselves. When you control, if somebody just says something, you feel controlled. It's always a two-sided thing, and always the balance has to be there. So then they become emotionally distant and spiky after being hurt. So when they are nice, pleasant, help, then they get hurt, then they withdraw, and then they become spiky, and then they get angry, and then they don't have so many social friends, and they become hateful. So there was this patient who became hateful towards her mother because mother had brought her up in a tough way. She was a single mother, and she felt that the girl she had to make tough. So discipline, have to do this work, you have to contribute to the house and so on. And then she had anger towards the mother and hatefulness, and then she felt guilty about this hate feelings. Okay. So there's always the duality of mother-daughter relationship with also dependence. You're dependent on the mother, but you hate her for making you do so many things which you don't want to do. And then you have this bi relationship. So a duality between longing and connection and still being angry and then you become too tired. So we've already said that they may grow singly or in groups. They have a craving for sweets as compensation for all emotion. They are called comfort foods, right? Sweets and fat. And they tend to be on the hot side. So there's a feeling of pink. We saw these are pink roses. Multiple stamens indicate the primordial quality of being dominated and an inner struggle with others. They want many others. That the others influence how they affect their basic quality. And this leads to social alienation. So I told you in Rose cases, the expression of being cut off. Okay? Cut off from husband, cut off from daughter, cut off from mother. So then that comes up falsely, but it comes often. So that is cut the roses to make a bouquet. So cases, this young woman came wearing flowery clothes. They always are bright and flowery and colorful. So you must see their clothes also. So when she complains, she sighs and says, "Oh, so much weakness. I'm so tired, so low spirited. My body is so weak. I get severe stomach ache." They exaggerate roses so as to make me collapse to the floor. Burning pain and sensation of being cut. That word cut. I'm good hearted and caring to others. I love my mother, but I also enjoy annoying her. That is the thorn. Her father left when she was small, so she was cut off from him. So cut, cut. I had to fend for myself since young because even kids were always bothering me and I was on my own. Kids have a habit of teasing. "Oh, you don't have a father. I have a father and a mother." So they tease and they bother. "Oh, you have to do so much work in the house." I don't do anything. So I was on my own against everybody. So the separation from others, even in school, and the prickliness develops. I am not cut out for shallow relationship. So this word, somehow or the other, in different ways, they will bring it up. I need a deep, warm, romantic relationship, but somehow I always end up with hoodlums. I think he's a good man. He was caring in the beginning and showed a lot of manners. I thought he was a nice man, but he turned out to be bad man. So heart and thorns. So then, with so much problem, they went to a female channeler, who channels your emotion. There are lots of things happening, okay? We have Reiki and we have hypnotherapy, we have homeopathy. It's like a proper scientific, we think that proper scientific and well proved and all. But we have so many. I'll have a friend saying, "Oh, you're unwell. I'll do Reiki for you. I'll do Reiki for you." She doesn't even ask me whether I want Reiki or not, okay? So we went to a female channeler who created more chaos in the life. And she felt possessed by souls, That connection is there. But you can either be a bad soul or a good soul. If you're a bad soul, then you're possessed. If you're a good soul, then you're helped. So she was possessed. Dysfunction of the subconscious, the room, what they call it. Felt under possession, which brought out dark, unpleasant, unclean, and sexual dreams. And her problems are irregular and very painful menses. Again, cutting pain. The sclera was bluish. She liked sweets and ice creams, I told you. Disliked bitter and pungent foods. Loves nature. You must always ask, "What do you like? Animals?" No, she'll say, "No, I love outside and flowers and beauty and scented and magical things." She longs for warmth. Warmth means love. She is gentle yet strong, tidy and clean. So here you have Cancer miasm. So you have the rose traits of loving, being loving and craving for sweet, and aversion to bitter and liking beauty and being suppressed and having love for the mother, what with thorns. So you have the rose traits and you have the Cancer miasm. So it is Rosa California. So with the remedy, her nausea and bad dreams went away. she got brighter dreams, okay, good dreams. So if her dreams will not, you will still get dreams. But she said, now they are pleasant, I get up fresh, get up happy. The father was always cold and rough and uncaring, but now she dreams of him and not sad. Her sexual guilt has lessened as she managed to rise above. They have also this low body image. They are too beautiful. People will say something mean to them. They have a low body image. And she woke up happier and took responsibility for her life. Another case. So this was a schizophrenic, a young woman schizophrenic, confused, conflicting voices that she hears. So what had happened was her mother, she wanted to marry a man and go away to another country. He was leaving. But the mother forced her, saying, no, 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 you're too young. You have to attend university. So she, after that, this friend voice kept coming inside, telling her, don't obey your mother. You hate her. She not let you come. She not let you do what you wanted. So curse her mother. So this made her feel guilt because she knows the mother did good. Actually, she says, I have the best mother. She knows that she wants what is best for me and me to bloom like a good gardener. She's very attached to the mother since childhood, and she always fears when mother will die, what will happen. But this thing had come in between, and this friend, probably not the right choice, but she wanted to go away with him and marry him. And then now he's telling her, no, 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 your mother made you do all these wrong things. So she had a lot of guilt feeling. And she hears friends calling her, you're a bitch, you're a devil, you're not a good person. So she is angry because she now feels my inner beauty I have lost. So there is good also and bad in me, but the bad is increased. This is not me. So I feel the split. The fifth column can split always. She wishes to be pure and not get these thoughts at all. She's shy, gentle, and impressionable. That we know, right? Always looking for beauty and love. So this man who showed her nice and care, she thought he was a good man and she wanted to go with him. She wants harmony and goodness, striving and wants to devote helping others. She was actually always obedient and respectful. But now the mother says she's no longer like. So after this remedy, Rosa C. Californica was given, the voices of that friend and other people disappeared. And she got the feeling of being under control better. She got her own control. She resolved the conflicts with her mother. She passed that entrance exam, got accepted to university. And now she says it is important to help your family, and it can be done by acquiring a career so that you can earn money. This is the typical thought pattern, says Dr. Mahesh. Okay. So it's 4:30. You want to do one more? Oh, baby, you also want to do rose canina. But we can't give you rose canina because you fight with your brother. This is my Rex, okay? He also wants to do rose canina. Okay, we'll do rose canina. So this is our third rose, okay? So this is the bark flower remedy. It is also called dog rose, rose rose family rosacea. So Clark mentioned only 5 symptoms. They are mostly concerned about uterus and the urinary tract. The mind symptoms are taken from the bark flower. And we had recent proving only done by Nancy Herrick and others, and they bring up many other ideas. That is the idea of doing this whole group, because some of us use bark flower and we only limited amount of things about it. Now we're learning more, and just as we said before, that the biochemic remedies, we use them but only in a certain way. But the Macphos, which we use only for pain and colic, has become such a big remedy. It can even be used in schizophrenia, in orphans, and people who have lot of suppression, but they express themselves and so on. So provers in Rose Canina spoke a lot about loving feelings, compassion and transformation, about liberation and expansion, the opposite of being caught and oppressed. So you have caught and oppressed one side, you have compassion and liberation, expansion. So either there can be indifference towards a partner or wanting to be appreciated and this yearning to be beautiful and appreciated by this partner, but it is maybe unfulfilled. And the miasm is Cancer. Commonly known as the dog rose, it is a variable climbing wild rose species native to Europe, Northwest Africa, and West Asia. On the other hand, this is the strongest rose actually. There is a strong element of struggle. It is strongest rose struggling with the thorns and the canines like teeth, teeth of life. And it has dreams of robbers, it has fears of dogs. The remedy may help in cases of a weakened struggle. Very important, very important. Weakened struggle for life. So even in dying patients who seem to have lost their fighting spirit and nothing is happening good, you give it and they may regain this energy to be hopeful and to fight. It helps one to face death and rise above. It will other death-related issues as losing close people or guilt feelings, seclusion after, saying, I have these problems mainly after my father died or my mother died or so. So partners or children or parents. A death theme that accompanies the whole festival. So anger is about disorder, Cancer. Hello, come here. No fighting. Anger about disorder, about mistakes, about business and friends. Angry because their yearning for love is unrequited. Not, they never get their love. They have this big, huge image of the beautiful love, everything being rosy. They are also, everything should be rosy. Everything should be good. And it's not like that. And then they get angry. They answer sharply and do not want even visitors. They're angry with friends, relatives, don't want anybody to. It's as if they cannot express their feelings other than anger. Speaking sharply, okay? So here you have that calm, nice person who become very angry and averse to having visitors at home. Or the angry feeling may be hidden towards friends or family members, or angry about a mother who's unable to express. Okay, she has a mentally ill daughter and she's angry. She's actually loving and warm to others, but towards this daughter, she's angry and she's not able to express. But she said, whenever the daughter comes to visit, I feel very oppressed, as if a rock was blocking heart and feet. She is strongly attached to her husband, mother or lover. She feels as if she is the husband's shadow. And she still carries a long past romantic story of an old love in her heart. But the emotional feminine aspect is suppressed. So uterus affections and all these things happen. Prolonged menses, urinary problems, I've told you. So she has hair loss. You can have hair loss. You can have cold feet. Craving is for always sweets, chocolates, bananas, all the comforting food. Not more. The Bach flower remedy is recommended for apathy, emotional monotony, and withdrawal from life, which is again a protection from hurt. So we have to protect ourselves. So we find different ways to protect ourselves. Okay. At times, the disease also provides a pretext. A lot of people fall sick because then you get love and care, right? Or you can be by your own and say, I don't want to come. I'm sick. I don't want to come for the party. So from withdraw from relationship. So the element giving up the fight for recovery is there, and this remedy can help you to fight. So here you have the man who's fight, and now he wants to just give up and say, I've come so far, but I'll just go back. I don't want to go so. So this kind of feeling and oversensitivity causes despair, distancing from others, as if recoiling from the danger of life's canine teeth, horns, canine teeth, the sharp teeth. So, as in Rosa D, the Damascene, I told you about it. I'm going to discuss it next time. There is a longing for this ideal love that causes hurt and seclusion when unseen. But then you have this dream, romantic dream when you're a teenager. Oh, the man come on a white horse, carry me away, and we live this beautiful life in a little castle somewhere, a little home. It doesn't happen. He doesn't work. He doesn't bring money in. So every day is a fight. So there's a huge need in all these roses, huge need for love, romance, and close physical and emotional links with the partner. Tendency to dissolve into relationship, wanting it, losing one's identity. But in that process, you can be hurt. And then dramas happen, and then sabotage their relationship. So they have a big urge to help others, but especially animals. So you have to note, these are important. Difference is Rosa canina wants to help animals. So this can also be found in the Solanaceae, which is in the next column. We know that, 6. So some cases. It's a nice case. 44-year-old man, he was an engineer, sophisticated technology. He's married with 4 children, but he's constantly fighting with his wife. She calls him a tyrant, as he's shouting, fighting, angry. This was why they came for the consult. He is frustrated because she's not what he wanted. He has this imagination of a nice, sexually active wife. He wants a basic romantic earning for both love and sensuality. So he fantasizes about other women. He's angry that his wife is not like that she is not a sexual. Okay. So the basic knave romanticism pointed to rosacea and the violence to Rosa canina. So difference in that, they suppress some of the other roses. We saw Bractea, we saw Californica, and this one is violent. So when the remedy was given, the angers went down, and that was both said by both wife and him. And he accepted her. Finally, we have to accept people as they are. Na? We can't expect people to change. Can we change? So why we should expect others to change? First, we can only have control on ourselves, and we have to change ourselves. So the fight, or we can use the remedy and change, right? Homeopathy is the greatest. The fight at home stopped, harmony resumed, and he did not need his erotic dreams of other women, and now only his wife. Okay? So anyone can think of a case where they can give this remedy to many, like CPR. Remember CPR, as soon as you heard the remedy, you said, oh, I can give this to that. And the husband next time came and thanked and saying, what did you do? My wife is now sexually aroused. Or the woman, I had one patient, the man was very low sexually. So the wife came and told me, oh, now he's much better. Thank you. So woman 50, her daughter is mentally ill. This is the one I told you earlier in the case, in the discussion in general. She is unable to express the emotion. She feels tone is blocking and obstructing. And she feels hunted in her presence. Because otherwise she's open-hearted and flowing. But she's very attached to her husband. And romantic. One fellow was there, so she's very attached to him also. So these cases, when you give the remedy, then you become better placed to deal with your problems. And that is the crux, whether the remedy is right or not. Sometimes we give a remedy which is partially right and you get partial result. So when you have the mental and the physical all matching very good, then you feel much. So in Rosa canina children's cases, they have a tendency to vocal tics. So they clear the throat. Issues with the color red, working, they write with both hands. You know, you come from the split, na, before the split, the other world, you could do everything. So write with both hands. We are Dr. Arya, na, you could draw with both hands equally. So fear of dogs and a deep connection to nature. So desire and aversion both can be there. Tropical fruits, which are also part of this column. Kiwi. Then issues with bodies of sweet water like river, brooks. Sensitivity to odors. They like pleasant smell. They talk or they even pain thorns or teeth. And so thorns and teeth are the same thing. And they have issues related to scratches and bites and teeth. Okay. So we've done 3 Rosa remedies, 2 other remedies, 5 we have done today, and we've done lots of cases. Yes. So if there is anything you've not understood, we also repeated the earlier one so that you can get a clear idea of the whole um, top column, yeah, beginning part. So we have tried to make it as clear as possible, and we hope that you will be able to see now in your cases the roles where we have beautiful people but they have problems, or you have somebody who's sick and exaggerating, or sick and saying, oh, I just can't deal with it, I want to die. So you can give these remedies. Too much they do for animals. People are feeding so many dogs and only working for them. Think of the Rosa canina. Hmm? Yeah, any questions? Okay, thank you so much. How do you pronounce your name? Weimar, I can do. Bronwyn? Anyway, let us know. Write to us how you liked it. Okay? In little more detail. Sorry, I can't understand. You're saying something? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Anita. Thank you, Weimar. Thank you, Rama. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Anything you can always write in the group, anything you want clarification. I'm happy that we have this whole group. I'm myself so happy. Next time I want to tell you some good results of the next remedy we are going to give you and of what happened with agrimony. So it'd be nice. And Rama Nirupama, please look at your friends and see if they have any cases they have done. Rama, I heard you had a case of Rosa. So you want to share it next time? Just do that. Okay? Okay, thank you everyone. We finished quite in time. And thank you for your patience, especially when we have the little problems. Okay, and thank you for waiting till the end. Okay, bye-bye. I want to say bye to my Rex who barked so much. Shaji, thank you for being there. I'm pulling you away from your clinic, but I wanted you to learn these new remedies, so it is right. Nital, thanks. Your father couldn't make it, but thanks. Okay, miasm and ages chart. Oh yes, I had said I will do it. Okay, next time. Next time we'll do only 2 or 3 remedies and we'll do that ages chart. Okay. Just remind me the 2 days before. Hi, Shaji. Thank you. Okay. Okay then. Bye.